Okay, so turn 40, and here's the interesting news. The enemy, Noose, is actually invading my lands. And they're doing it in a pretty effective way. So they attacked Remesia, and what they're doing is, it's very simple, but it works. They've got a whole bunch of these guys with slings, and they're casting flaming arrows on them, plus all of their pigs. But fortunately, I had kind of anticipated they might attack me, and so I had only my stinking varmints assembled here. My god had already left. So the stinking varmints went in, they poisoned the shit out of a bunch of pigs, and friendly fire from his flaming doohickeys also killed a bunch of pigs. And so pretty much all of his pigs died. However, this is kind of scary. He's got a Awakening Lad here, and a Awakening Lad is dropping all kinds of buffs on himself. He's got a random assortment of useful gear, including a Ring of Regeneration and an Elixir of Life. Now, I think... I know what he's going for with this. I think it's not actually going to work, because when Awakening Lad is quote-unquote killed, he's going to turn into a ghost. And so I think... I don't know if this is true, actually. I would have to test it. I suspect that when he transforms into a ghost, that's not technically death, and so the Elixir of Life would just be dropped along with all of his other items. But I could be wrong about that. And if I am wrong, then this is very useful. But basically, he's given himself all kinds of buffs. He's resistant to all sorts of things. He's actually susceptible to shock damage, but of course, I don't have anything that can do shock damage. And he has regeneration. Now, he's let down a little bit by the fact that his HP is low. But still, Awakening Lad like this could absolutely take on Big Bill. Or at least he could probably take on Big Bill. In melee, he only has the one attack still. It's a pretty hard-hitting attack, but at least in my Dominion, Big Bill has a bunch of HP and will be regenerating very rapidly. See, like right now we have 122 HP, and he can cast regeneration on himself. So the Ring of Regeneration plus casting regeneration will give him 20% regen, so he'll be regenerating 24 hit points a round. I don't know, but on the other hand, he's not going to be doing enough damage to actually hurt Awakening Lad. So yeah, I think Awakening Lad would win that fight still. So, which raises an interesting question. What do we do about this? Over here, we've broken the defenses of Raspberry Woods that are going to be charging him with close to 200 pigs. We're also rampaging around in enemy territory, just hitting him in places. He's moving around. He's moving in a pretty significant army to attack various provinces that I'm rampaging around in. Semyon should actually go over there for right now. So we're going to take Raspberry Woods. I'm pretty sure we are actually going to be able to take it. This army is strong enough to take on the force that I have right here, which is a mere 90 pigs. I have various distraction measures that will help a lot, like casting Howl and throwing Will-o'-the-Wisps. Will-o'-the-Wisps will be hilarious because they'll draw a lot of fire from those flaming slings, and they're immune to fire damage, pretty much. And I have a whole bunch more pigs moving up. I've got 55 more pigs advancing at the moment, because that's the rate per turn at which I spawn pigs at this point. I spawn over 50 pigs per turn. But I don't want to fight this army yet. I don't want to fight that army yet, because if I do, it could probably beat me, especially in enemy Dominion. If he fights in my Dominion, that's a slightly different story. But I'm in... Probably what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take all these guys and I'm just going to move them up here into Golm. And by putting them in Golm, they're in position to reinforce anywhere that I need to reinforce. But they're not immediately engaged by Remesia. And then if he attacks Remesia, and, punches through the province defense, which of course he will, then I'll have... I'm actually moving all of my pigs up to Hexwood, so I'll have 2 turns worth of pig spawn, plus these pigs. Plus this guy, and this guy, who are inside Remesia at the moment, plus these mages. I'll have all those guys ready to break siege and attack the force besieging Golm, and I'll be able to crush him. Because this is deep in my Dominion, and it will have Big Bill, and it will have all the pigs, and everything. And I don't think he will have a good time. In Niffle, I lost that province. Took the wetlands, took Raspberry Woods. I lost 48 of my 182 pigs in the process of hitting Raspberry Woods, but that's fine. To be honest, I kind of regret not moving down to besiege Noose, just to cut it off for a turn. But we'll do what we can here. Now, Raspberry Woods does have some mages in it, but to be honest, it probably does not need this many pigs to capture. So what I think I'm going to do is I might take Augustinus and go elsewhere with him. Nah, I don't want to split up in the face of these forces, because those forces are pretty large. Oh, there's a Well of Pestilence. Nice. We're going to recruit some Poison Boys. And we'll have enchantment level 7 next turn. And after that, we need to research what? Growing Fury wouldn't be bad. Charm Animal wouldn't be bad because... Excuse me, with Charm Animal I could spend gems, essentially, to take away his own pigs. Or I could throw Rage of the Cornered Rat on my pigs to make sure they berserk. Or drop Panic on him. None of this is super useful. I do have Gnome Lore. Have you Gnome Lored everything that you have to Gnome? And or Lore? Yeah, keep Gnome Loring things. Well, I think that's what I'm going to do, and we'll just kind of see how things work out. Unfortunately, I still cannot penetrate the bird wall with my scouts, so that's unfortunate. Agaslingria is definitely winning the game, but locked as I am in my pig war over here, I can't really do anything about it. So we'll just kind of have to let that be what it is, and we'll see what happens when one of us emerges victorious as the once and future pig. And I'll see y'all in turn 41. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, turn 41. We have hit our enchantment 7 goal. I'm not sure what to research now, so I'm just going to research Conjuration for a little bit. Get up to the bigger summoning spells, I guess. Push somebody up to summon Troll Kings. That would be pretty neat. Have Troll King thugs. Of course, I have, like, 0 Earth Gems. I have 0 gems of any kind, in fact. Except for nature. My gem income is still abysmal. Gems are just not a thing for me right now. But I've got this Enchanted Gate over here, and I've got this this Well of Pestilence and this Endless Forest now that I took in Raspberry Woods. I did storm Raspberry Woods. I took almost no casualties. I wiped out 6 of his shamans and a whole bunch of corpse constructs and some metalheads and stuff for 3 prize pigs dead. And I am now concentrating upwards of 200 pigs into this little location. It's actually just about 200. It's 40, 66, that's 106, 98. Yeah, just slightly over 200 pigs, plus a few cheeky stinking varmints into this little area. In fact, I'm going to move all the pigs back because I want the stinking varmints to engage first. I am dropping Serpent's Blessing on all of my lovely Piggly Wigglies, but like I said, I want the stinking varmints, because the stinking varmints are very slow, and pigs are fairly fast. So I want the stinking varmints to engage first, so that they can, no, not you. So that they can start getting the poison. When they get trapped, they'll get trapped against the enemy. Now, the enemy does have a large fraction of their army down here in Mins. They have actually split their army somewhat, but they've got a large fraction of their army here in Mins. And then they also have some of their army in the Caverns of Neck down here, including 45 more prize pigs. And they have relatively little still defending their capital, but a whole bunch of mages, including a lot of Sons of Apollo, so probably a lot of fire elemental spam there. I've taken Raspberry Woods, as I said, and I'm recruiting in Raspberry Woods, recruiting mages. So this force is all moving down south, and Semyon is going to move along with them. And we're gonna go take back our homes, or rather, we're going to take away their homes. That's actually the plan. Taking back our homes, secondary. Taking away their homes, primary. If he stops to storm this fort, if he sends a very small number of troops to storm this fort, he might actually lose, because I do have 16 stinking varmints inside. If he sends a large number of troops to storm this fort, he won't be able to get back to his capital in time to stop me from slamming 400 pigs into it and causing some real trouble. I'm moving my pig generation up to Golm. I am still going to be summoning more giant pigs that summon other pigs. And yeah, that's remains my whole game plan. Literally the only thing this nation can do at the moment. I wish that I had some gem income, some earth income rather, but I don't, which is sad. I am gonna cast Gnome Lore again, just in a futile hope that I can get some earth gems, because 1 earth gem per turn is really not cutting it for me. And if I can get some earth gems, then I can start doing some other magic. But as the thing stands right now, what I've got is I've got nature, and that's about it. So we'll see what it is the next turn. But next turn promises to be exciting. It'll tell me whether I'm in position to launch the desperate decapitation strike at Noose and try and end this war once and for all or not. But I will see you then. He might also be trying to lure me into an ambush here and try and fight a climactic battle here on the fields of Remesia, where many battles have been fought before, and bring all these troops and all these mages in and crush my pig stacks. If he does that, I don't know. I think I could probably take him. I'll drop the Serpent's Blessing, I'll drop Howl. We've got some guys throwing out Will-o'-the-Wisps. I think it'll be cool. We'll see what happens, and I'll see you then. Alright folks, it is turn 42, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. This is going to be a very short turn because all I'm doing this turn is launching my troops in for the pig off. We do have down here in Mins, we can see that pretty much all of the enemy important things attacked me. So they led the assault on the province. We have Awakening Lad, the Onikunshu. We have Oleg, the Fair and Great Prince. We've got True Pig God, the Prophet, and we've got Olga, the Vengeful Widow, are all here. And fortunately, there wasn't a ton here to for them to kill. So they threw a lot of sling stones. A bunch of their guys got poisoned, and they basically just kind of chopped their way through without too much trouble. So the armies of Hydrangea were routed. They lost a number of units. They lost a total of 19, all of their pigs except 1, plus 4 of their sacreds. And 5 metalheads. But, so this force over here would have to go through a cave in order to get back. And if we look at their map move... so map move 16, for example, on this Onikunshu. Map move... So the Fair and Great Prince has map move 24. So a cave is 12 to move into or out of. And that's to pay the average of movement costs. So that cave would be 12. The plains they're in right now is 6. So they would have to move... I think the Fair and Great Prince could get back, but not leading any troops. The Onikunshu, I don't think can get back. I don't think Awakening Lad can actually manage to get back to his capital this turn. Well, he does have map move 22, actually. Why does he have map move 22? It just says basic map move 22. Why is that? I don't know, but he might be able to get back with map move 22. If he ditches his troops, he can probably get back. The Vengeful Widow... Anyway, I don't think... The majority of their troops, at least, cannot get back. They may be able to get a couple of those fast-moving commanders through the Caverns of Neck to Noose. So, tell you what I'm actually going to do is I am going to divert a few of my Piggly Wigglies, I think, to stop them. Because I have a mighty army coming to avenge their pig heresy. We've got 104 there, 23 here. I'm just going to merge those guys. 23, so that's 100 and quarter, it's 175. That's another 100, so 275, about 300 pigs total, plus a few little snaky boys mixed in, charging in here. The enemy army is mainly pigs and corpse constructs with some metalheads, Sons of Apollo, etc. No enemy units down here. This is the remainder of their metalhead army, and I think I can take it. So I'm moving in to do that. I've got another 59 pigs spawned this turn, so even if this 300 pig army is destroyed, I will still have some pig power available. I'm moving a couple of commanders into Golm in order to lead pigs. Well, it's actually just one commander at the moment. I would like it to be more than that. I would like more commanders than that. I'm gonna send Sparka back. Those two between them should be able to lead 2 turns worth of pig production, or pig reduction, as the case may be. Propiction. And And yeah, that's basically it. It's a short turn, but a scary one. We're going to see if we can take Noose with the power of pigs. We're dropping Serpent's Blessing and then Howl with Big Bill, which should help a lot. Howl especially should help quite a bit, particularly because this is a forest, and so Howl will be doubly effective. And Serpent's Blessing will mean that my pigs won't be as affected by the stinking varmints, which is the big goal there. So that is what we're doing. We're spamming a bunch of Swarm. We've got some Will-o'-the-Wisps coming out. All that is just to draw fire, essentially. To distract enemy mages and troops and draw their attention away from the mass of porcine flesh hurtling towards them. And of course we do have our Prophet, Baconator with Cheese, who will be dropping that hot, fiery Divine Blessing to make sure that everybody gets blessed, even in enemy dominion. And if Awakening Lad comes to fight us, we may still be able to kill him. I don't know exactly, but at the very least, the pigs should be able to hold him in place until Big Bill gets rid of all his fatigue. So we got Serpent's Blessing, Howl, and then you know what we're going to do? After that, we are going to drop... I don't want Fire Weakness, so we're going to drop Iron Skin, Temper Flesh, and Personal Regeneration. Where's Personal Regeneration? There it is. Personal Regeneration. Actually, that's going to come first. So Personal Regeneration... and then Iron Skin, Temper Flesh, and then Attack. So there we go. Big Bill will be going into combat with 23 prot plus the Berserker, so 25 natural prot, or 28 actually, and Temper Flesh, so half damage and regeneration of 20%, and hopefully, if it comes down to it, he can take Awakening Lad on. I don't know if he can, because he doesn't have good attacks, but he might be able to. You never know. It'll depend on how much damage Awakening Lad takes from poison and from pig blood vengeance, because since he has a fire shield, if the pigs are attacking him, he's liable to start taking quite a bit of damage from blood vengeance. But regardless, we will see what happens in turn 43. I'll see you then. Okay, folks, turn 43. Schweinli has claimed the Throne of Life, but that's not the real news this turn. The real news is several battles. First of all, we got bounced by a Swanpire scout in Lowmark, so that's fine. There was a battle in Noose. We stormed Noose to attack the capital, and all they had out was their province defense. Now, it's a lot of province defense, but it was still just province defense. And my pigs charged in, and as you can see, the front line's basically vaporized on both sides upon contact. But various bug summoning and all that trapped up his mage to kill it, so we lost a total of about 40 pigs, wiped out the province defense, and we instantly breached the capital fortress. And then, several other battles. Swanpire also bounced a scout off of a throne in Osens. In Plaguetopia, Plaguetopia attacked the besieging force and broke out because Hatun Runa are terrible at things. By the way, this reminds me, what's Plaguetopia's actual bless? I mean, they're using Battle Vestals here, and Battle Vestals are dog shit. I don't think I'd seen this before. Solar weapons, cold weapons, shock resistance, fire resistance, cold resistance, nat prot, magic resistance, blood surge, and invulnerability. Now, unfortunately, the nat prot and the invulnerability don't stack. But that's hilarious. And then, of course, all these birds drop in and start getting massacred because the Battle Vestals just have stats and Hatun Runa don't. That is amazing. I love it. It's a god-awful bless, don't get me wrong. It's not a very good bless. But it's hysterical. I love that. Okay. So that happened. Now, Swampire is just bouncing scouts off all kinds of places, but then there was the battle in Remesia, the big showdown. So they moved the vast majority of their army to fight me. So over here, in the in the Noose corner, we have their god, Awakening Lad, with only 40 hit points, since he is in enemy dominion and has a never healing wound. They've got a big lump of corpse constructs. They've got a lot of their metalheads with the slings. They got a few of their sacreds, and then in the back they have a pile of prize pigs. And on my side, it's just pigs. It's just pigs for days. It's pigs everywhere, pigs all over the shop. It's about 200 pigs versus about 400 enemy units all told. So we start off, we drop Serpent's Blessing, because we do have some poison boys up here, some stinking varmints. The slings are going in. The blessing is down, so already they're taking hits from the blood vengeance. You can see that scoring some damage over there. The serpent's blessing is active, so we're all very poison resistant. Some minor air elementals dropping down. Big Bill is standing in the back, recovering from his efforts. The pigs go in, start to charge, start to get off their tramples. More and more blood vengeance flying in. You can see all those thick red lines flying in, blasting people. Those right there, that is... Every time you see a chunk of pigs disappear like that, just put F in the comments for a mage who just nobly sacrificed himself, because that's death. When you cast, you know, that was Blade Wind they were throwing. When you throw Blade Winds into a pile of Blood Vengeance pigs like this, you're dead. There's no way. You're going to be making a whole bunch of MR saves all at once, and you're going to fail them. So the pigs charge in. The pig attack is slowed and then stopped by the sheer pressure of sling fire, but at a horrific cost in damage for the enemy. The surviving metalheads begin to run, and remaining, you can see over here, Awakening Lad has gone on a rampage. He's got Soul Vortex active, he regenerates, he's out here doing his thing, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Meanwhile, Big Bill is standing over here, technically routed with 155 fatigue, having cast Howl earlier, which is summoning wolves. Unfortunately, I was hoping this would be in a forest province where the wolves would be more effective. The wolves are not very effective here, especially because they're already routed by virtue of my force being routed. So, Awakening Lad is out here chasing pigs down. He kills that pig, and in the process takes a massive hit of damage from Blood Vengeance. So we can scroll down here. Where is he? Where's Awakening Lad? There he is. So if we look at Awakening Lad here, Awakening Lad has been taking almost no damage so far, and then he failed to resist here a hit. And then down here, he took a massive Blood Vengeance hit because he did a massive amount of damage. And this is the problem with the Oni Kunshu in this context. When he does a massive amount of damage, he immediately takes a massive amount of damage. So he took 33 points of damage for killing that pig. I didn't mean to quit that replay. Hold on, that was the wrong button. And remember, Awakening Lad does not have much by way of HP. His hit points are fairly low. So, while the pigs have been stymied, albeit killing well more than they're worth in enemy troops, the pigs have been stymied, my troops have retreated, I've got two smoking hot farmers here who are paralyzed by lack of fatigue, and they get killed. And that's fine. Then he goes down there and whacks that pig. Takes 33 points of damage, leaving him with 16 hit points. He comes up here to attack Big Bill. He whacks Big Bill. So far, so good. Big Bill's down to 86 hit points, but Big Bill is regenerating at 12 hit points a turn. So he's still okay. 13 hit points a turn, sorry. And wait for it. Wait for it. Boom. All of a sudden, he's a ghost. In the process of becoming a ghost, of course, he's dropped the vast majority of his equipment, and he's down to only 8 hit points as a ghost. Now, the equipment may well be picked up because he still has a whole bunch of commanders on the field. Now, unfortunately, Big Bill, while he is unconscious, does not manage to actually kill Awakening Lad through Blood Vengeance. But he kills a bunch of other people. You can watch here. They're all surrounding Big Bill, beating on him, trying to cut through that 20 prot. And he is just blasting them with Blood Vengeance. People are dying. 26 kills so far. I think the Blood Vengeance kills are counted to him. Still 26. I'm not sure if they're counted to him, actually. But he's just tanking it. He's just surviving. Up 27 kills. He's killed somebody with the Blood Vengeance now. And I don't think that's counting the corpse constructs, the undead either. Woken up, he's slowly making his way off the field. But he keeps falling asleep again from the fatigue from the Soul Vortex. Awakening Lad, it looks like, will survive, unfortunately. Hopefully he lost a piece of gear or two. But in any case, good old Big Bill is finally chased off the field. 33 kills now, and a few more to come. And there he goes. So, we lost, technically. But, if we look at the casualty counts, you may notice something. I lost 2 smoking hot farmers, 176 pigs, and some stinking varmints. The enemy lost 78 of his prize pigs, over 100 metalheads, half his co-onis, all the flesh gods, most of his corpse constructs, and 3 arrowsmiths, so 3 more expensive mages. This was absolutely a victory for me. On top of that, most of the remaining metalheads routed and will have scattered. and gone elsewhere, so they're not available. So what's left in this army is about 40 units, and if we look at, not Noose, if we look at Remesia here, we can see of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13 are commanders. So he has almost no chaff. He just has a bunch of mages. I, meanwhile, have Big Bill, and Big Bill has another, it says 0 out of 140 leadership, and I don't know why. There we go. Big Bill has 140 pigs. So Big Bill is coming right back, and he'll cast... He's not going to bother with the whole Howl and Serpent's Blessing thing anymore. No, Big Bill's out for blood. Big Bill is going to cast Personal Regeneration, Iron Skin, Temper Flesh, Iron Will, and then he's just going to go in. He's just going to go in and do it. I don't think there's a good chance of them stopping him, to be honest. He's going to have the Dominion advantage. He's going to have 28 prot total. He's going to have Blood Vengeance active. He's going to be regenerating at 20%. It will be a bad scene. Bryakoslav here could also come and help, albeit I think the poison isn't actually going to help us, so instead he's going to go over there and fight these barbarians, maybe. Yeah, I think these guys can fight barbarians. And over here, of course, we're storming Noose. We're going to charge in there, take out the defenders, hope that we can do that. If these guys come back, either we're going to take the fort before they get there, and then they'll besiege us, which I believe is what's going to happen. Or, I think I've seen occasionally people coming back and managing to reach the fort and fight along with the defenders if the defenders sally out or something like that. If they do that, then what we're going to have is we're going to end up with this army, all these pigs, trampling under a whole bunch of mages because they've spent all their gems and they have very little by way of chaff, and it'll just be mages throwing spells at a horde of Blood Vengeance pigs, which we already know how that ends. It ends very badly for the mages. So I think at this point, the war with Noose might be pretty much won. Now, obviously that could be construed to be counting my chickens before they hatch, and I've been screwed by things like that before, so I'm not gonna count on that, but I think the pigs are pretty much doing it to it. Vano here is gonna move his pigs up, retake Mins, and then move straight over this direction. Big Bill will bring his trampling porcine horde down this way to Remesia and then into Noose. Baconator with cheese is kind of staying back here-ish. He has some pigs behind him just in case there's an attack rear order or something. So there's decent odds that if the enemy summons a whole bunch of elementals or something, like air elementals, there's decent odds that Baconator with cheese will be able to get off the field. It's certainly not guaranteed. He could well die if the mages defending the castle manage to mount a proper defense, but we're going to try. And in the meantime, all these guys don't actually have to storm the castle, because I don't need them. They're just going to preach. They're going to preach in an effort to bring down the enemy dominion, so that hopefully I can cut this from 4 red candles down to 1 or 2 or something. So that when, or if, Awakening Lad comes back to try and reclaim his capital, he won't be as buffed by the dominion. So, that's turn 43. I'll see y'all in turn 44. The next big problem after dealing with Noose is going to be the question of Agaslingria, because Agaslingria owns half the fucking world, and they must be stopped. We always knew that Agaslingria was going to be one of the most dangerous of the factions, but we'll see. They've got metal smiths. They've got these smiths here. Now they've got sorcerers, which they renamed magical girls, hilariously. And they've got these giants who can thug. And they've got a really good player. So, we'll see what's going on. We'll see if we can take them. It'll be interesting. Just straight up pork versus the world. Just pig hordes and nothing against everything the enemy can throw at us. And we're gonna see if we can do it. With enough pigs, all things are possible. So, thanks for watching. See you in turn 44. We'll find out if Noose has fallen to the pork hordes. Take care. Turn 44. Let's look at what has happened. So first of all, we were attacked in News. They hit us before we could get into the city, which in hindsight I think actually always happens. You always get a chance to relieve a fort. So the remnants of the great Nusian army have rushed back home, led by Awakening Lad, in an effort to stop the invaders from storming their fortress. Unfortunately, they are simply not enough. They don't have the troops to do it. So as they prepare, the tide of boars descends upon them, and they run. Many of them are trampled as they flee. Some manage to get away. We can see here they lose a first prize pig, almost all of their commanders. The fair and great prince survives, but one of their sons of Apollo, as well as the vengeful widow, and most of their troops die. They kill 18 prize pigs. Then there is a battle at the fortress of Noose, which we can see here. Now, unfortunately, because of the casualties I had taken, fewer pigs than I had hoped were in this fight. Still did a lot of damage, but we didn't manage to get in. Worth noting, there was actually quite a bit of Skeleспam in this battle. They have an arrowsmith here who randomed, they have a smith here who randomed Death 2, which is always great for a shaman. I think they had a few of those, because they have a lot of their shamans in here. And each one that random Death 2, which was at least one, I think more than one. Where are the others? There's one that was Death 1. Death 1. Well, regardless, I think every one who could was raising the dead. Yeah, there's at least another one or two back here. And they were spamming evocations. So if you're willing to take the casualties, spamming evocations against something like this will, in fact, work. And it did. They managed to wipe out the pigs as they were coming in with sheer magical firepower. In the process, they lost 5 of their own mages, but losing 5 of your own mages is worth it to keep the province, to keep the fort. They also have 15 Sons of Apollo in here, so quite a bit of magical firepower that they can throw if they're willing to pay the price, and an Earth Reader. So they lost 5 mages. They lost basically all of their own troops. All they've got left is mages now. But some of those mages can summon skeletons, so that's something. And in the process, they killed 65 of my prize pigs, plus 4 of my own mages. So that's fine. And retreat details, Baconator with Cheese did get away, as well as most of my other commanders. Now here is the interesting thing. If we look at Noose, Noose is still under siege because I left a pig holding it under siege, as well as all my preachers preaching. And if you'll notice, there is no Awakening Lad anywhere. And I'm pretty sure that's because he retreated into a province that I owned and died, along with basically everyone. He wasn't in the fortress. He's not anywhere outside the fortress, so I think he's dead. I moved in, of course, with Big Bill and retook Remesia. Now, Big Bill himself is going to be leading the charge next turn. Partially that's because, obviously, with all the preaching and then with his own Dominion expanding powers, I don't think I'm going to have any trouble. I think I'm going to be able to... I have 13 Dominion spread checks at 80%, and one of them is from my god with 100% success rate, so I think he's going to kick their Dominion down pretty damn low. And he helps just command some of the pigs. Right now we've got about 140 pigs coming in, so double the size of the force they just repelled, which should be able to swamp them, but in case it isn't, we have another 80 pigs coming in right after them. We'll just kind of spread those guys out into a couple of slightly smaller groups. I like symmetry, so we'll make them all about the same. There we go. Boop, boop, and boop. Great. Fantastic. So, Accius here is going to be moving in as well. We'll send Augustinus just in case we need a... Actually, no. Augustinus will go up there to pick up some snaky boys. Snaky boys, yay. This province, we attacked snake swamps and we lost, but just barely. We killed literally everyone but 3 barbarians. It's a little bit frustrating to lose a battle like that, but probably what happened was we actually routed earlier. Yes, that's the problem. They all started around Braslav, and when he died, they routed. I'm pretty sure that was the problem. Yeah, because see here, they actually had driven the barbarians away, but then... Well... Actually, it says the independent armies are routed. Yeah, and then he died of poison. He died of poison, and my Hydra hatchlings were already running. So, this, the demented barbarians were the last ones on the field, it looks like. Yep, that's what happened. It's my own poison cloud. I never remember to place my units properly to avoid that poison cloud. Also, we cast Haruspex and we found 2 magic sites in Forest of Long Nights, the Garden of Weeping Roses and the Druid's Grave, which means we're making a total of 15 nature gems per turn, which is pretty sweet. Our astral income is also fairly solid. 4 astral per turn. Once we take back the Caverns of Neck, we'll get a little bit more from there. And of course, we also have this Well of Pestilence, which is making us one of our death gems. So, gem income, actually, not too shabby. I do want to take Moke away from Swanpire sometime fairly soon, but of course, in order to do that, I have to empower Big Bill at least once. More than one. I actually have to empower him twice in order to be able to cast Moke. But with an income of 15 and more to come, I should be able to do that. I just need to finish the conquest of Noose. Noose, of course, will give me 2 more nature per turn, and it will also, you know, open things up for me a little bit. Getting this this province back would also be kind of nifty. Give me some more gem income. And I don't know why I have 3 scouts in this province. Let's just send some of them sneaking out around to different places for different reasons. Makono, the underwater discard pile attempted to attack Makono and got hilariously destroyed because they forgot that Makono, as their saving grace, took Iron Blizzard for their national spell, and Ahas can cast Iron Blizzard. So those Ahas wiped out the relatively desultory attack force with no trouble. It was sort of hilarious to watch. But Makono will be falling very soon, nonetheless, so I can only hope that I have enough pig generation to weather the storm. We should set you back to contacting Boars of Carnoots. I could actually start casting Monster Boar on people, but that would be just obnoxious without really producing much for me, so I'm not going to do it. And let's just get a few more heavy infantry, or actually archers. Let's get some archers up in here. There we go, archers. And you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to start recruiting these guys, these unreliable farmers, because they're really good units. They can only be used defensively, but you know what? Only using them defensively would be fine in Forest of Long Nights. And if I can get some of my... I'll just move some nature mages up there, because they should be able to cast protection on them to increase their prot even more, and swarm to give them chaff. So with that, that could provide a fairly nasty defense for Forest of Long Nights, to be honest. Okay, so basically that's the turn. We're moving in to retake Mins. We're moving this army in to make sure that Noose stays besieged. I hope they try to break out, to be honest. I really hope they do. Because if they do, of course, they'll run smack dab into 140 blessed boars and get run over. And if they don't, then they might manage to live. Meanwhile, we'll give these guys to Laurentia. Set them forward. Just to make sure that we actually take Snake Swamps this time. And then those troops can move forward to help finish corralling the rest of former Nusian territory. So, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in turn 45. Things are actually going okay right now. We're definitely not a major power. Right now, I would say the 3 biggest powers in the game are Agaslingria, Swanpire, and the Underwater Discard Pile. And of those, Agaslingria is by far the biggest. Swanpire is definitely second. But I think, and Grugland is still here as well. Grugland is honestly not tiny. They're kind of long and thin and stretched out, but they are here. They've taken some underwater territory. You know, they're all the way down here. That said, Agaslingria is very, very close to them, as are the Rainbows of Hell. So I don't know how much of this territory they actually own. If I had to guess, I would say probably just these 2 or 3, maybe. So they're also not huge. And they might be my next target, if only to take their throne. I mean, I have the Throne of the First Age, which I have claimed. Other thrones that have been claimed, not a whole lot of claimage, to be honest. But if I could take the Throne of Bureaucracy away from them, that would be swell. And then it becomes a question of where do I aim to get more thrones. I've got those 2, but I need 6. Yeah, 6 thrones gonna be a little bit of a problem. That throne, Mudwater Caves, is an obvious one. I just have to bust past Makono to get it, and Makono is pretty much done for, so I can smash through Troll Canyons and take out his crystals, absorb these crystal Amazons along the way. This army these armies that are already flowing in that direction hopefully could handle that. And then I might be able to get into Mudwater Caves and claim them. It's kind of a long stretch of expansion, but might be doable. After that, it's a question of where I go. Black Peaks, obviously, so that would give me 1, 2, 3. I'd be halfway there, living on a prayer. 4, the Hidden Realm. A lot of these are in caves, interestingly, so that would give me 4. At that point, I would need to kind of reach out to find the last 2. These 2 are, I think, well beyond reach. They're buried in Agaslingrian territory, and I just do not have the resources to fight Agaslingria. Right there. I'd have to find some way to get underwater, which I don't have a good answer for, because my Hydra boys are not amphibious. I'm sure I have amphibious indies somewhere, but 140 Ictiids is kind of a stretch to be taking on with amphibious indies. Yeah, I have pale ones. I could send in pale ones. I could just mass the fuck out of some pale ones. But that would take forever to recruit a sufficient army of these guys, and I wouldn't be able to send any mages with them, because I don't have any mages that can go underwater and accomplish anything. So, it would be rough. But, we figured out, oh, well, I do have Ictiids over here. They're on a disease site, unfortunately, but... yeah, one thing that I can do is, just start recruiting some Ictiids and see what happens. In any case, I'll see y'all on turn 45.